Here's a brief history of my time with Tomb Raider the video game. In 1998, I would go over to my friend's house and watch him try to lock an old man in a freezer. In 2010, my brother had the one for PS3 but refused to play it. And then I finally played Rise of the Tomb Raider in like 2015-ish. So I didn't play the game this one was based off of, so I have no idea how close this is to that. Tomb Raider, starring Alicia Vikander, Dominic West, and Walton Goggins. I'm willing to give a lot more credit to a video game based movie than a person who just likes movies, because they remind me of the fun I had when I was playing the video game. But that's where the big problem with video game movies comes from, is that they keep wasting time on the cinematics of video games, which are not the fun parts. Those are just to give you a reason to keep playing. The fun parts are like in Assassin's Creed, spending 20 minutes sneaking around a building looking for people just to stab. As I've said, I didn't play this version of Tomb Raider, but the sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider, was almost exclusively her trying to survive on her own in the wilderness. Making her own bow, finding bits of guns, learning Russian. I was hoping for more of that, but this movie just kind of wasted the first hour trying to, in some ways, emulate the original Tomb Raider movies. And then finally, the movie started to get good in the middle when she was taken prisoner on the island and had to escape. But that only lasted like 20 minutes. After she chokes out a dude in some mud, turns out her dad's alive. And I was not happy about that because there was no point for that. So believe me, I really wanted to like this movie. I went in a pretty good mood, despite being in pain right now. But the beginning was way too slow, the middle was over way too fast, and then the end just seemed to drag on forever. I appreciate them putting the mystical shit on the back burner. Like, there was a lot of plausibility that the magic artifact that they're looking for wasn't going to work, unlike the original Tomb Raiders, where she was shooting stone monsters that were running around with ninja swords. So they did a really good job there. But they missed the point, I think. Unless I'm wrong. I don't know. I didn't play this game. I talked to a girl that I know about this game for a very small amount of time. It was a small portion of a much bigger conversation. And the only thing I really got out of it is that they cut some kind of bisexual storyline that I didn't even know was in the original game. But there's definitely no trace of that in the movie. I really liked Alicia Vikander. I'm a fan of hers in Ex Machina and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and, well, yeah, she was great in The Dutch Girl, but the whole point of The Dutch Girl was kind of lost on me. Like, I think she was the Dutch Girl. Is it Danish Girl? Am I saying it wrong? It's relevant right now. And I even really liked her in Tomb Raider. I thought she was great as Lara Croft. I honestly thought her accent was going to be a little bit more Swedish-leaning, but she went hard with the British accent. I also really liked how she screamed like a girl in a lot of situations, because it's nice to pull the masculinity out of these action moments. You don't have to have the manliest woman to be an action heroine. And I appreciated that, is that she screamed like a girl. Walton Goggins I also thought was really good in this. His character was relatable in the fact that he was there for 7 years and really wanted to go home. And it would have been nice if they'd taken some of the time they wasted in other stuff, like a foot chase through Hong Kong or a bike race through London. They could have cut those and spent more time developing his character. And Dominic West was, I feel, irrelevant. He didn't need... in the flashbacks, yeah, Lara Croft's relationship with her father's... It was important in the old movies, so I assume it's important in the games. But bringing him back to life and having him just have a bow and arrow sitting there she could take, it took away from what I wanted from this movie. And the only other real character in this movie was Lu Ren, played by Daniel Wu. And I find it a little strange that the one guy in Hong Kong she needs to talk to speaks fluent English with an American accent. Because I haven't checked this or anything, but I think that if a person from Hong Kong spoke English, it would probably be a more British version of it. I didn't play this game, so I don't know what's wrong with it plot-wise. I do know what's wrong with it plot-wise from a movie perspective, in that it was boring. See, this movie had the bone structure of a good movie. It had a fantastic pair of lead actors, and a game that I assume had a lot of, survival in it. because of the Rise of the Tomb Raider thing. Like, I love when she finally got her ice pick thing, her climbing pick, because that was such a major part of Rise. I don't know if it was actually necessary in the original one, but it doesn't matter, because they put in, an Easter egg for me, because, say, hey, look, I recognize that, because I did. Yeah, overall, I would say skip this movie, but if they end up making another one, I'll give them more money just to see Siberia. But if you're like me and you genuinely want to see everything Alicia Vikander's been in, watch this. She's hot in it.